And it is Dave Lawrence on location, bringing you another interview from New York City with a cat who we spoke with in March from this city. Now I get to join him here talking to him. Guitarist for the Allman Brothers band, his own band, and in Eric Clapton's group, incredibly enough, and we'll hear about that and what it's been like to be a part of his band and recording with him. A big aloha and mahalo to Derek Trucks for speaking with me. How you doing, Bar?
Good, man. Good to be back.
It's nice to have you back via the technology of recording one of these things. And the last time that you were on the show was in March of this year, and I forget what point in the middle of your 14-night run that you were in, but I was talking to you while you were doing the Beacon run. And does that seem to you like a world away with all the stuff you've done since then?
Yeah, it's been a crazy year. I was probably learning Clapton tunes right when I was talking to you last time, because right after the Beacon, went overseas and did a few weeks of rehearsal with him in France, and then since then we've been hitting it nonstop. We did like 2.5 months in Europe, and then came back to the States and toured with the Allman Brothers. My group opened up, did some shows with Tom Petty, and then now doing the U.S. tour with Clapton. So it's been a whirlwind, but no complaints.
and I can see why not. I mean, you've been doing some huge stuff. And when we last talked, you had the record. We were really working on song lines, and we had already been playing Revolution a lot at that point. And you had gone and done the studio. You told the great story of how Eric called you on your cell phone, and you had to go the other direction, and you went and you recorded music for its Road to Escondido.
Yeah, and it's a great record. I actually just heard it a few days ago, first time, top to bottom, and there's some great stuff on it. I mean, it feels like a J.J. Cale record, which is a great thing. So,
Ride the River, are you on that?
I don't know if I'm on that track, actually. I listened to the single yesterday, and I think that's one of the tunes that they did after I left.
Because when I was listening to it, it's hard to figure out. The mix on that, there's a lot in there.
Yeah, when J.J. records a tune and then mixes it, he uses a lot of he just layers things. It's pretty amazing. So from the track that we recorded to what ends up on tape, it's a world away. It's great the way he does things.
How many of the tracks on the Clapton record are you on?
I believe it's around 6 tracks.
So you went from recording a bunch of these songs. That's a lot. That's a significant contribution to an album to do 6 tracks. And then tell me about the rehearsals. Where'd you go to do them?
We went to the south of France for 2 weeks, which was not a bad way to go. And we started the Clapton tour there too, so that worked out. Flew my kids over, my wife and my mom. We had a great time. It was quite an experience.
So how long did you spend actually doing the rehearsals before the tour started?
We probably did 10, 12 days of rehearsal. But it came together really quick. It was just kind of feeling each other out. Completely new rhythm section for Eric, and I'm new to the band, so pretty much a new group for him. So he wanted to have some time to get it right, but it felt good pretty immediately. And as each leg of the tour has gone on, it's just gotten progressively better.
So when you started out, though, you end up there, you're in a rehearsal space. Is there a set list of songs? Are there specific things that he wants to work on first? Like, I'm curious, your first day showing up, and you're like, wow, I'm about to actually do a rehearsal with Eric Clapton. We've done the record, now we're actually going to do something for the tour. What was the first thing that you actually did? Was there the classic material or new things, or did he have a set list?
There was a list of tunes he gave us to learn. We ended up probably only playing about half of those. We went through all of them, played about half of those, and then added a bunch of other stuff. I think once he realized that this band kind of just naturally gravitated towards the Derek and the Dominoes era stuff and his early stuff, we started throwing in more tunes from that era, so that was nice. But I think the first thing we did was just started playing. It was just the first day was just getting loose, and there was a lot of really nice open moments.
So some jams, basically. So with the first tune, do you even remember the very first song that you got to play with him?
No, I think it was just a blues tune that we just spontaneously broke into. And it was pretty nice. I mean, Willie and Steve Jordan and that rhythm section is as solid as it gets.
Yeah, to have that opportunity, I mean, and that's like a first step. And you realize at that point, because his tour itinerary was long, so you knew right then and there at these rehearsals, I'm going to be on the road doing this for a while.
Yeah, because when a tour is a year long, you can go one way or the other. Like, wow, I'm stuck with this for a year, or my God, this is amazing.
And so from the outset, then, did you know like the Japanese dates, the Australia, the New Zealand, those dates? Did you know about those when you signed on?
I'd heard about them, but nothing was really confirmed. It was the European tour, and then if that goes well, the U.S. tour, and then it's just piece by piece. It's wanted to make sure, he enjoyed working with everybody individually in the band, so it's good to have that leeway.
And as the tour started to move around Europe, was it? I mean, it had to be strange. I mean, one, it's a 3-guitar lineup, so that in and of itself, how are the duties divided up?
It's pretty natural, and there's enough mutual respect on stage where, I mean, it's obviously Eric's show, so me and Doyle know that the main goal is to support and spur him to do things, but he even inside of that setup, there's plenty of room, and Eric's really generous with the solo time and making sure everyone gets to say something. So.
How do you know when you can break into a solo when you're part of his band, I guess?
He'll tell you. He has no problem with leading the way. He's a great band leader, and there's been a lot of tunes where a lot of the tunes all three of us are soloing in. You spread it out, but he's really generous that way.
But you had to. Am I wrong in saying? I mean, you had to learn the routine. You had to like get the cues down. Like he'll turn to you and be like, "Okay, go. You can do a solo now."
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is set up in advance. A lot of the tunes are, a few verses, and then it's your turn to go.
And you have it written out. In this tune, I'm going to be soloing.
A lot of them, yeah. And then there's freedom inside of that, but it's that way with the Allman Brothers and my group and most situations you're in.
But as the summer progressed with him, was there a chance because you have your own record at the same time you're out doing this tour with him, there are radio stations all over the country that were both embracing Revolution and also looking for another song from Songlines, which we did by way of the DVD and added I'll Find My Way, the live version, which has a kind of a quicker tempo. And I just think it just sounds hot. It's a great way to get the DVD on the radio. And it must have put you in a goofy situation in that your record was really happening. I mean, did you ever get a moment to like play it for him or share Songlines with him during all of those months in Europe or weeks in Europe?
Yeah, I mean, I passed the record along to everyone, and everyone got to check it out, so that was good. But yeah, I mean, it's a unique spot this year where, jumping around between all the bands, and we have a record we're really proud of and trying to support. So it's, but you get an opportunity to play 8 nights at Albert Hall with Clapton. you got to do what you got to do.
No, and it's such a great opportunity. But you know what I'm saying. So you never you got him the record, but you never sat and you never were like, hey, check out this tune, Revolution. Or did Revolution ever get shared between you guys in any way?
No, I'd have a hard time sitting down and listening to my record with people. I don't think that would work.
So, okay. And you don't know really if you never got feedback from him, I guess is what I'm saying.
Oh, no, he was into it. He had nice things to say about that and the DVD. So he's been really, really supportive. He also with Doyle's career, Eric has been he's usually he's a fan first, and then if he enjoys your playing, then he wants you around. So it's that's a good feedback. Just being along for the ride.
Well, as you've described, he obviously wanted you around because he just kept adding legs on this tour, which now have. I mean, the segment that's going through Asia. I mean, how many nights are you doing at the Budokan? I mean, it's staggering.
Yeah, it's a few weeks. I'm excited for that. I've been to Japan once, and it was such a great time. So and going with him, he's larger than life in Japan, so that'll be fun to witness.
And he did say, though, he said to you, he liked the Songlines DVD, the live DVD.
Yeah, I believe I gave it to him when I first got a copy, and got some nice feedback from him, as well as some of the other guys in the band. So that's always nice.
Is he into your work with the Allmans? Has there been any discussion? Do you ever sit and Does the Allman Brothers aspect of your life come up? Because that's another thing. In addition to the fact that throughout his tour, you were working, your record was happening on radio in the United States and people were working on your DVD. You also have the Allman Brothers side of it. Does that ever come up?
Yeah, I mean the time he spent with Dwayne, I could tell, really meant a lot to him. And actually, my uncle Butch Trucks, who is the drummer with the Allman Brothers, came out to the Madison Square Garden show last night, and they got to see each other again. They hadn't seen each other since since Criteria Studio when Dwayne came in and did the Layla record. So it was quite a reunion. It was funny to watch, and after Butch left, Eric was mentioning to me the first time he saw those guys in South Florida, Tom Dowd brought him out, and just what a great experience it was. So he's definitely he's keyed into that, and I mentioned to him he should come out to the Beacon Theater sometime, get him to sit in. So we'll see what we can do. Planting seeds.
You did mention that to him.
Oh yeah. So you never know.
Of your run there was, how sick was it to have Gary Rossington up there and Warren do Simple Man?
Yeah, that was pretty great. This Beacon run is definitely the highlight of the time I've spent with the Allman Brothers. It was some great moments, a lot of really peak nights, and it was a pretty magical little run.
Being in Hawaii and not being able to be a part of things that are going on with big tours happening regularly, I'm curious, and I guess I could check it in other ways, but I'm assuming you've never played any of your solo stuff with the brothers?
No, I mean, my band has open shows for the Allman Brothers, and my wife will sit in, Mike Madison, our vocalist, will sit in. All the guys in the band have sat in at one time or another, so there's been that kind of collaboration, but it's haven't done any of the tunes yet. Usually our time is so split, so little time to do both, that you kind of, when you're in one situation, you focus your attention on that. When you jump ship, you're on the other one. So
and you can keep track of all of it. In 1 year, you really did. You did your own record and had a huge hit with Revolution. I mean, you got a song on the classic rock radio and across the board.
We were shocked at the reception. It was really nice. Actually, this station was one of the biggest supporters. This and a few stations in New York City. So, 2 spots we need to start visiting more.
And I know your time is precious, and I'll wrap this up in a second. I do want to comment on I'll Find My Way, because I wanted to play it from the Songlines record, and I know Paul Yeskel, who works on your record pretty well, and I'd been saying to him for a while as Revolution was happening, I was like, well, what's going to be the next one? What's going to be the next one? And I said, the one I really think should be is I'll Find My Way. And he said, well, write what you think about it, and I'll try to get it to them, and Blind, Crippled, and Crazy was going to be, at that time, that was the dialogue of what would be the next song. And when the DVD came out, I found that the live version is really punchy of that song on there. So it was a great thrill, really, for me, because I was like, you know what, Paul? I don't need to really wait for you guys to decide to do it as a single. I think it's the right tune. I'm just going to do it. And people loved it right off the bat. Have other people played that one?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of positive feedback from that tune. That's one of my favorites on the record. So I was glad to hear that one started getting a little movement. I haven't really listened to the one on the live DVD since we mixed it, so I have to give that one a listen. maybe we'll send that one around.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're having a lot of success with it, and I just leave you with the fact that people would love to see you out there. Maybe for my, I'll put a date in your head. Right around September 9th, 2007, we'll be doing my 5-year anniversary party. Maybe we can have the Derek Truck. You can do your next tour of Hawaii. I know it takes that long to plan something like that.
I'm in, man. I'd love to do it. Maybe we can swing it next year, and we'll get Susan over there too. Get her singing with the group. That could be a lot of fun.
Oh, I'd love to have Susan come out there. I used to see Susan during my 12 years of living in Boston quite a bit. So it'll. Do you get up to Boston because of her a lot, or is because of her family? Is that an area you get back to?
Yeah, I mean, we spend some time up there. All 3 of the bands are spending a lot of time playing up there too. Right after this New York run, we head to Boston for about 5 days. So it'll be nice. The kids are up there right now, so get some baby time.
You can get some Buzzy's roast beef while you're up there.
Yeah, we will actually.
And the Clapton tour doesn't look like it's going to come our way. So it's I mean, all those dates in Asia, New Zealand, I think Singapore. I don't know how you guys haven't figured Honolulu into that. Maybe you could put a little muscle behind it.
I'll be the bird in the ear. I'll see what I can do.
Seriously, you've got all the other routing for it. So a pleasure to get to talk to you again, and we'll be there and supportive for your records. And please try to keep an open mind towards heading back to Hawaii. The great Derek Trucks being here on 105.9 with us again. Thanks, Derek.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Is that all right?
Yeah, it's great, man.
Cool.
I appreciate everything. Hi, this is Derek Trucks from the Derek Trucks Band and the Allman Brothers Band with our friend Dave Lawrence.